Owula koda o, owula koda o, bí ẹ̀dọ́wù ẹ bèrè wo.
Owula koda o, owula koda o, bí ẹ̀dọ́wù ẹ bèrè wo.
I'm out to revolutionize, if you call it that way, kingship, the Afin, the palace. It's not a place where you put an old man and you expect that every day when you go to see him and say, Baba, have you eaten? I've not eaten, I'm hungry. I believe that the Oba, the king, must be the head of the grassroots in his kingdom. I believe a situation is coming where kingdoms will be empowered to, within a federation system, all right, within a federal system, where kingdoms will possibly merge and will each king over this kingdom will have to cater for his people. As to that rumor that Balogun had installed me, the question I keep asking, so Balogun just went and picked somebody on the street who has no relationship with the position of the Olowu. He just took him from somewhere and said, I install you, you stay here.
The path to the enthronement of the Olowu of Owu was full of challenges. The Amororo ruling house was next in line when the stool became vacant in 2003. And there are many Amororos. And there are even many more who claim to be Amororos. However, a law inherited by Ogun State from the old western region made it clear who would be the next king. There was only one person qualified in the whole of Owu Kingdom. Behold, Oba Adegboyega Dosunmi, the 13th Olowu of Owu Kingdom.
Oba Olusanya Adegboyega, for the purpose of history and record, was elected unanimously by all the kingmakers that were present at the nomination. Out of the 6 contestants for the stool, only Oba Dosunmi legally qualified at the time he was elected. Those who were misled in the first instance voted for another candidate. But as soon as they realized the position of the law, they all bent backwards and we came to a unanimous decision. We thank God for that selection and we thank God for the life of all of us who unanimously picked him. I'm sure history will take note of that.
There have been 12 Olowus before Oba Dosunmi. They all shared a common heritage, one source, one people. Their very first father, Olowu Kangunere, got his name from the crop Owu, cotton. This fueled suggestions that the Owus may have originated from the savannah, since cotton was not native to Orile Owu. Kangunere had 6 children, and that lineage metamorphosed to form the 6 ruling houses in Owu Kingdom.
Bí ẹ bá dé fẹ́ kẹ́ lọ bèrè wò.
The Owus have come a long way. This is one of the early Owu settlements. It is along the same axis as two other Owu settlements, Akwomu and Owu in Osun State. There have been many suggestions as to the origin of the Owus. However, history has it that it was from here that the Owus dispersed to other places in Yoruba land.
The place that you now call Orile Owu was Owu Ipole, Owu to Dipo Ile. And now we were coming, that means we had a home. And we are coming from that home, found ourselves in that place, and we settled there. Of course, we settled there for a long time. And that city was the city where the 1821 to 26 war took place.
Olowu Kingdom was then put in a limbo. It was not, people say it was destroyed. It was not totally destroyed. It was just put in a limbo and we scattered away to settle in various places. People went to Owu Abekuta. We have another Owu Ijebu, Owu Ayepe, Owu Iji in Ogun State. There are about 7 Owu settlements in Ogun State. Now we have Owu Isin in Kwara State. We have Owu Epe in Osun State. We have Owu Telemu, Owu Kuta, Owu Ilemu, Owu Obaloyan. They are all Owus.
Owus have a close affinity to Orile Owu. Despite the development of recent times, the town still retains its traditional setting, a constant reminder of the history of the Owu people. This is the heart of Oba Dosumu's kingdom. He is no stranger to these parts.
Grew up here. I went to primary school at the Owu Baptist Day School in this very town. Graduated second primary school, and then went to the Baptist Boys High School, this school at Okegunya, again in Owu territory of Abekuta. Graduated there in 1955 and went about looking for employment. Employment wasn't difficult in those days, but after doing a few years of working in various places, including the PWD, if you ever know what that means, the NITEL now, which was P&T, railways, and so on.
A young Oba Dosumu, then a prince. He was already a source of inspiration at that early age. He was also a devoted and committed family man. The Owu throne could not have had a more prolific occupant at the time Oba Dosumu was crowned.
I know this kingdom. I was born into it. My own fathers had been in this position. I know what they went through. Outside of that, for 35 years, I have been involved in the running and the administration of this kingdom. I know the things that easily bring problems. I know the things that easily cause people to become uneasy and to start making trouble. To start with, my 3 months in Ikpebi, I preached about peace. Peace within the person. Peace among the people. They are very, very important. And see, you had to deworm people of this fear that they have about one another, the suspicion that they have about so and so. You have to explain precisely what you want to do to people so that you can carry them along.
There have been many stories, cliches, and myths about kingship in Owu land.
Right.
Oba Dosumu assumed the throne at a time when realities dictated a new focus. There was a need to define a new paradigm that would take advantage of the realities on the ground and propel Owu to greater heights. Oba Dosunmu interacts with his subjects.
Kábíyèsí o, kábíyèsí o, kábíyèsí o, adé apẹ́ lórí o, bàtà apẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ o, olórí àṣìṣe àjọṣe.
Èyí àjọṣe ṣàlàfíà ni.
Kábíyèsí.
Alájà, àdéhìnlẹ̀ ẹjọ́kù, bàbá mi, àdáyìn ló ń kọ́.
The first decision he took was to make sure that all Owus are equal before God and man. Before his time, they will say there is Zerumus, they must not be member of the cabinet. There is Akpomu, they can never be a member of the cabinet. But that is not correct. Some of us have been preaching this for years, that there is no difference between one Owu or the other. What we are trying to oppose in terms of Abeokuta, why some people are judged to be second-class citizens, we can't sustain that in the Owu Kingdom. And it is this Olowu who, for the first time, have brought everybody into his cabinet. The Erumi is represented, Akpomu is represented, all Owus are represented. That is social justice.
A powerful and efficient administrative machinery works behind the scenes to articulate Oba Dosunmu's vision.
I wanted to change the system of operation in the palace. And that's the beginning of it all. I decided that it was not just going to be Olowu making all the decisions, taking all the decisions. When you do that, you deprive yourself of the very best ideas that are available elsewhere. So I decided to have a cabinet of chiefs, 8 people. And within the known chieftaincy titles available, I decided that I was going to take a few as relevant to what I have in mind to achieve. Now, let me tell you, it took about 2 weeks to convince one of them, one that is going to be a member of my cabinet. It took me about 4 weeks to convince another. It took me 4 months to convince somebody else. It took me 6 months to convince somebody else that what I proposed to do was the right thing for the peace of Owu.
Of course, it is no ordinary feat to have as cabinet members a former world-court judge, 2 to 3 times president of a country, businessmen, and high-profile scholars.
We have a cabinet that even if I'm not around, things will go on smoothly without anybody noticing anything. And we meet monthly to review situations and to initiate ideas and to find a way of getting people to carry out our programs. Just pretty much like you are running the federal government or state government. What is wrong with that?
Empowerment and development of Owu Kingdom is the driving spirit behind Oba Dosunmu's vision. And he has an able team behind the wheel. Balogun Owu, President Olusegun Obasanjo arrived for an Owu cabinet meeting.
Is trying to restructure the whole of Owu Kingdom, not only in Abeokuta here, but even in our villages and towns, because 70% of our people are in villages and towns. He has recognized the leaderships of those towns by making them obas. And that's why we have 13 or 14 or 15 obas now. So that economic progress, economic planning will be at the, will be at the grassroots. And our focus is to make sure that in Owu Kingdom, poverty is alleviated.
A very ambitious monarch indeed. So, how does the Olowu intend to actualize this vision? The Olowu's blueprint for economic empowerment and development can be likened to any national development plan. It has components that will see short-term actualization, Other components aim at a long-term realization. Mobilization is another very central component of the plan. The Olowu's decision to appoint Obas in 15 Owu towns and settlements may have caused some disquiet. However, he has acted within his powers. The new Obas across the kingdom shall serve as arrowheads for the plan. The Olowu has also mobilized the established business community in Owu Kingdom. He has the likes of M. Ola Yusuf, the business chief executive of the kingdom.
We are going to work hard that education, which is the stepping stone for elevation of poverty, is improved and developed higher by private sector. And that is why people like me, as an Owu indigene, I am building now a secondary school in Owu Kingdom, which is going to be internationally recognized. Already, I have a primary and nursery school here. Owu indigenes, through Principal Ajibola, we have got a university, Crescent University, because we believe in the education, not only of Owu people, but of everybody. That is one of our focus.
Others with established businesses are also being targeted and brought into the fold.
Fortunately for Owu community, we are looking at a 50-kilometer stretch of land, of area. I mean, if you take Abeokuta as the base and you travel 50 kilometers along Lagos Road, you finally have to get to the end of the Owu Kingdom or near it, and you stretch it to the west or so, you are in somebody else's kingdom, isn't it? So it's a very compact community, and it's a well-enlightened community. We only need to spark up the interest and identify the group that can carry the kingdom to a higher height.
You're welcome to Akiale. It's a settlement of the Owu people who migrated some 100 years ago into this part of the world. The community is full of potentials for development, the arid land, agri-based business, and the opportunity for a lot of investments, including mining of limestone and other valuable minerals are available in this part of the world.
All hands are on deck. These children are on holiday. They assist their mother to process cassava into gari.
The joy of this new creation is that I have an Oba in Wasimi, I have in Itori, I have in Nifo, I have even in Sango, and we are the current generation of the Obas that we meet regularly and discuss and find ways and means by which we can make our areas to develop and meet the challenges of the future.
The newly dualized Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway. The road has opened up all Owu communities in the axis to the massive market of Africa's largest commercial city, Lagos. It is market day at Wasimi. Traders from all the neighboring villages and communities converge here.
Tọ́jà bá ń tà inú wa dùn láti máa ṣiṣẹ́ yìí láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tá ti débi láti nǹkan bí aago mẹ́rin láti.
This trader is from Akiale. Business has not been good today, but she's hopeful. She can see rays at the end of the tunnel.
Pé àwọn àbáwá rìn sí wípé kọjá lè máa yá pé kó lè máa dùnnú wa láti ṣe.
A few kilometers away from Wasimi is Papalanto. This is an endowed community. It is limestone area. It is also 1 kilometer away from one of the country's biggest cement plants. More importantly for the people, It is sugarcane country. Oba Dosunmi has based his wealth creation master plan on the land. Land is an asset that people, ordinary people, have total control over. All the traditional rulers have been instructed to look around their sphere of influence and identify arable and farming lands. Land will be allocated to people who would in turn cultivate crops. The crops will be sold, funds will be generated. The people are happy and the community is empowered because its people have become wealthy. For many communities like Kpakpalanto, it is important to have leaders who share a passion with their subjects. What is equally important is to identify a core of community leaders who can inspire people. Next after Kpakpalanto on the Abeokuta-Lagos Expressway is Ifo. It is an old town that has benefited from the heavy traffic from Lagos and Abeokuta. Oba Dosunmi is asking his traditional rulers to lead by example. They have to inspire, and to inspire is to do it yourself.
When we receive our crown, the Olowu told us that we are not going to our villages for joy, to go and dance or marry a woman, but to go and work, to empower people, to make them realize that they need to do job one way or the other. We have a great potential opportunity in Ifo. Ifo is well known for its bread baking, especially, you know, when people come from Lagos, Ibadan, they will request for Ifo bread because we are well known for it, and you know our bread is excellent. If you take it, you would like to take it again. And we are well known for fufu and farming generally. Now, what we are trying to do, especially I myself, have acquired about 50 hectares of land for cassava revolution, which very soon is going to take off. And by the grace of God, I'm sure by 1 or 2 years, food will be surplus in Ifo.
Igbogunakiyode is one of the many farm-based Owu communities that surround Ifo town. This fufu processing facility has been operating since 2003. The Balogun Owu, President Olusegun Obasanjo, commissioned it. Facilities like this one that are already on ground can take full advantage of the synergies which Oba Dosunmi's development plan will create. Premier Paints is located on the outskirts of Ifo. The arrowhead of the company is Owu Chief Ogoluwa Bankole.
I will help the community in giving them about 2 plots within my compound where they can put their cassava processing plant free of charge. Because when I run my generator for paint, they could take off about 50 kV out of that without having any negative effect on my own production. I have security people that can police the place for them. I have a warehouse that I can give to them for the processing. And what they only need to do is just buy a vehicle that will bring the cassava about 3 or 4 kilometers away to the processing zone. And that cut off nearly 3/4 of their capital requirement free of charge. And these are the benefits of our location within the community. So that if they want to start now, under 3 months, under 2 months, they will start exporting cassava flour. That's the benefit of local location of infrastructure. In other community, they can't try it because they won't have the privilege of what I've had on the ground for 20-something years running. And that is the networking we are looking about.
Less than 5 kilometers and still in the Ifo axis is Coca Town. This is an old Owu community, and the terrain offers great economic potentials. Koka has land, rich arable land. It has people, and above all, it inherited a rich Owu legacy. The community will play a vital role in the actualization of Oba Dosumu's land-based development plan for the Owu Kingdom. Koka is one of the Owu communities which the Olowu has elevated.
Those who don't understand, we are very sorry for them. Sorry in the sense that you have to look back to the history of Abeokuta itself. When we said Abeokuta was established in 1830, we are not saying that everybody that is in there now got there in 1830. Some came a few years before, some came after, but 1830 is the time that we have in history. And between that time and now, almost 200 years, this place, I'm now 70, this place has been the same as we met it. Now, if now somebody thinks that we should have development, and that's exactly what Kabiyesi Olowu is talking about, and has had to do it on his own area of influence, I think one should give him credit for that.
Koka has had its fair share of infrastructure put in place by successive governments. Past governments recognize the potentials for growth and development. Now, the vision of Oba Dosunmi is to use existing infrastructure to transform his domain.
By having an Oba here now, we call it Onekoko of Koka, then that means that Koka itself has gone beyond the village or the market or the town that it was. Because my domain now will start right from Jambu, and that's about 2 or 3 settlements before here, and goes down to other 17 settlements, making about 20. And we call it Koka community. That by itself has given Koka a leap. In fact, a promotion, because we can now say Koka community. It's no longer Koka village or Koka town, Koka market.
The Koka farm settlement was established by the defunct Western Region government of late Chief Obafemi Awolowo.
Over the years, the place has been abandoned. Not totally, but as you can see, partially abandoned because of what we call the oil boom, which took many people away from farming. But as you can see, this is not how a farm settlement should be. Because left and right you see wild grasses of no use to anybody. Animals won't feed on them. Human beings won't feed on them. It should be an area now filled with cassava plantation, or maize, or yams, or things of that nature. And I thank God that we are now inside the process of development in it. And I think that government should now give us the enablement to enter into it and then do justice to the land, which has been wisely and purposefully established for us by our forefathers.
Part of the broad vision of the Olowu is to mobilize locals into cooperatives and empower them to take advantage of such facilities.
Most of the Owu inhabitants, both in town and villages, many of them find it difficult to earn their living. Some of them don't have shelter. Many of them are unemployed. A lot of them who are farmers, peasant farmers, have no capital to develop their farm. We believe this is a challenging situation for the present leadership of Owu people. And we are going to work night and day to achieve that objective.
Oba Dosunmi has charged his arrowheads to make sure that assets like these are exploited to the fullest.
I believe that the Oba, the king, must be the head of the grassroots in his kingdom. And using the land which God has provided as a supplier of resources for the development of that kingdom. This is not saying that the kingdom or the Oba should take over from governor and so on. Governor is making provision. For example, even at this moment, the government have made so many provisions for the kingdoms to develop within that provision. And nobody is looking at that possibility. Everybody is thinking that federal government or state government will come and do this and so and so. What I'm looking at is not saying government come and pay them. What I'm looking at is a situation where the kingdom will provide enough resources and money of its own to pay its own obas. The reason why we have so much infighting and frictions and competition, envy, jealousies, which are unnecessary, is because there's a pause coming from state government, and everybody is looking for, if I make more obas, my stipend will be lowered.
The Coca Farm settlement has a lot of uncompleted infrastructure. This water reservoir has been lying waste for many years. It is a settlement that was equipped to harness the full potentials of an area rich in arable land.
In our villages, we want to make sure that we provide macroeconomic credit to our farmers, and we also give them the tools to be far more successful peasant farmers. We want to industrialize. In conjunction with our foreign partners, we are going to bring industries to Owu Kingdom, not just Abeokuta, everywhere. And if you go to some of these villages now, you can see the momentum is gathering.
The women of Ibogun have formed a cooperative to process cassava. Their collective output forms the input for this cassava processing factory. Nigeria is the world's largest producer of cassava. Government has raised the profile of the crop through an export program and a mandate that the confectionery industry should introduce a percentage of cassava flour into their products. This has opened a new vista for the people of Ibogun, whose main economic activity is cassava cultivation and processing.
Nǹkan tó ń jẹ wá níyà ní Ìbògùn bí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ní gbogbo Ìbògùn. Iná wa kò múnádóko. Tí wọ́n bá mú lọ ìṣẹ́jú mẹ́wàá, a lè má rí ìṣẹ́jú mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dógún. A lè má rí fódìdí ọjọ́. For full day a ò ní rí iná. Kí wọ́n bá wa ṣèyẹn kí iná má lọ mọ́. A mọ̀ pé ibi gbogbo náà ni but tọ̀dọ̀ wa ń bí yìí ó yẹ kí wọ́n bá wa tún ṣe tí náà ò fi ní lọ mọ́. Ẹ wo àwọn tó ń já rice tó ń já pákí tí náà bá ti lọ ó parí nìyẹn. Àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ mọ́. À ń fẹ́ kí nǹkan ìkó má rí bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́. Kí wọ́n bá wa tún ṣe kí gbogbo nǹkan lè máa lọ déédéé.
Ibogun is an example of how communities can be transformed through the collective will and the determination of the people. The vision of the Olowu is to see an all-round transformation where basic amenities needed to support human endeavors are provided.
I'm fighting to have in every part of my kingdom health centers. I can't build them all, but I know government has a program for that. I go to government and tell them, give them confidence. I possess the qualities to manage, to help them manage these facilities properly and to achieve results for them. I can say that because I also know that I have obas under me who are enlightened, whom I can call and say, government is bringing us a health center and we want you to organize in such a way that it will be easy for them to perform. So they are not going to destroy it in 6 months. That needs organization. That needs knowledge. That needs a vision to be able to conceive it and also to sustain it.
Ilekma is another Owu community where the traditional ruler has been upgraded. It is a trading post that is set to take advantage of its proximity to Lagos.
I pledge to my subjects of having small-scale industries around us, and I'm arranging with the Coca Farm settlement to have some acres of land for farming, especially for cassava. We are trying as much to see that we have light. And all the bad roads, we are going to repair it after the rainy season.
The traditional ruler in Songo enjoys a game of Ayo with his subjects. Like all the other traditional rulers whose status were enhanced by the Olowu, he's very confident of a robust future.
All the Obas we have crowned, they were ballers before they were crowned, selected by the Olowu in their respective domains. They were ballers appointed, selected by their people, presented to Olowu for endorsement. Long time before Olowu came to the throne. So if Olowu now promoted some of these baale to coronate crown, to give them coronate crown, or to make them an Oba, what is really wrong? Why should people talking of grapping? She's not going to an area which she has never been before. Before you can be made a baale, it means you have some traditional authority in that area. And all of them, without exception, hold allegiance to Olowu voluntarily, because they know that that area, that land traditionally belongs to Owu Kingdom.
Oba Dosunmi has given true meaning to the common heritage of the Owus through his determination to unite all Owu people, irrespective of their geographical location.
In Owu Kingdom, the Oba does not rule. He reigns. The council regulates. For instance, if you want to appoint anybody as a chief, it will be brought before the council, and the council will find out the background of each recipient of Owu title. And if they find him suitable, the council will approve. And then after approval, then the Oba goes ahead to install that person.
Chieftaincy is an important component of the Owu culture and tradition. Owu chiefs are held in high esteem. After all, Owus are known to value their integrity. Here, notable Owu sons and daughters are being conferred with titles. Oba Dosunmi has brought reforms to the process. It is no longer business as usual. The Olowu is a strong believer in hard work. He also believes that hard work must be recognized and rewarded. Many close palace observers have been quick to note how the Olowu has achieved a perfect blend of beliefs, customs and traditions. Not surprising, since the Olowu himself is a custodian of Yoruba custom and tradition.
As a traditional ruler and spiritual guidance and leader of my people, I will lead them the way that I know. It's been working well here in this past 1 year. The palace is a depository of traditions and customs. But also remember that even tradition and customs are not stationary. They are dynamic things that are changing from time to time.
Kábíyèsí àti gbogbo àwọn ìlú wọ́n ní kí n fún yín ní ìwé ẹ̀rí yìí.
Irú ọba tá a ti ń wá tipẹ́tipẹ́ nílùú Òwu òun la ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ rí yìí. Ọba tó mọ̀ nípa tradition, tó dẹ̀ mọ̀ nípa culture, gbogbo nǹkan lóríṣiríṣi tó jẹ́ pé àwọn nǹkan tó ti lọ ni wọ́n ń dá padà fún wa nílùú Òwu. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ń fi àwọn ọ̀tun kún tínú wa dẹ̀ ń dùn lóríṣiríṣi wípé kábíyèsí wa yìí ń ṣe gudugudu méje yàyà mẹ́fà.
Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ kábíyèsí fún mi ní oyè Jagunmólú nílùú Òwu. Ogun náà kì í ṣogun aládàá, kì í ṣogun ọlọ́bẹ, ogun làákàyè, èyí téèyàn fi mú nǹkan dáadáa wá sí ilé bàbá ẹ̀.
Olórí ìgbìmọ̀ ta ti gbogbo wa mọ̀ pátápátá bí bá fẹ́ kọ́yàn wọ́n láwọn gba kíkọ́ wọ́n gba ríré níbi ìsáde àbádájú ṣá bí kò má jẹ rárá ni ọ̀rẹ́ rè.
A relaxed Oba Dosunmu enjoys a game of Ayo with his chiefs, a clear indication that indeed peace has come to reign in Owu Kingdom.
Owus are not engaged in fighting anymore. We are not fighting any war with any people. We are looking for peace. Seek for your peace, your personal peace, peace of mind for yourself, by making sure that you pursue things that will bring progress to you personally. Hatred of one another doesn't bring peace of mind. Antagonism, unnecessary antagonism against what somebody else is doing does not augur well for peace. And hard work, I will bring you the food that you need to eat. If you are filled and you are happy and you are clothed and you have water to drink, why? What is the problem? Why won't you have peace?
Behind every successful man, there is a woman. And we dare add that behind every successful king, there is a queen. Or rather, behind every successful Oba, there is a hard-working Olori.
Olori, it's interesting. Here you are, crocheting away.
Yeah.
Is this what you always do when you have the odd 1 hour, 2 hours? Because it takes time too.
Well, this is my pastime. So.
Okay, so what are you making here?
I'm making a lap warmer. Use it to cover your lap when you're feeling.
So how much more do you have to do?
Well, I still have about 8 colors more to do. And that's almost about 40 more rows.
That is what they call Isheni.
Ah, well.
As Mrs. Olatubosun Dosunmu, what was life like for you?
Well, life was a little bit interesting because I wouldn't just say I'm Mrs. Olowu Dosunmi alone. I'm a wife of a pastor there because my husband was a pastor and a missionary as well. We traveled a lot because we've planted almost about 18 churches and we do visit all those churches.
Sharing Kabiesi's vision for his people is obviously very important for the stability in this area. How much support have you been able to give him?
Well, to my own understanding,
yes,
I would say I've given him 100% support. Yes, I would say that to my own understanding, and well, with the little that I have, 100% I do support him in anything. At times you see me with the women talking. We have a group called Dosunmu Descent Mothers. They had been with Kabiesi during the time of the struggle, and they're still with him up to date. And I do relate with them very well. At times, if they want something and then they can't go to Kabiesi, they'll come to me and then we go to Kabiesi together. There is even a Olowu development committee that Kabiesi set up so that people, will be able to be empowered.
Okay.
Yes, and well, part of the support, I'm a member of that committee. Since Kabiesi could not be able to be in the committee, so he decided, well, you'll be there, so that if there is going to be anything, then
his ears and his eyes,
I'll be able to.
What are those feelings that put smiles on your face?
You go out, people see you, they greet you with smiles. The Kabiesi will be going out, and then you see people, hey, Kabiesi, including the little ones too, saying Kabiesi, Kabiesi everywhere. And then, so, initially, with what people had been saying that, that's if that man becomes an Oba, there is going to be war, there's going to be, we will not allow him. There's going to be this, there's going to be that. People will never agree with him, but peace had been reigning supreme. And then even the little children that normally do their assembly in this palace. Yes. We have the Abeokuta North Local Government, the primary school just opposite us here. Yes. They do their assembly in this palace every day. And they are part of the things.
They're your little ones.
Yes, they are my little ones. And they are the things that, the feelings that one is having and is making one to smile and say, well, God, we really thank you.
Princess Amoye, one of Olowu's siblings and a regular visitor to the palace. Most of the time, she's here with her children.
As the fourth child, I'm sure you have brothers, sisters before you. It's a mix.
No, I have 3 sisters.
3 sisters, so you're the fourth girl.
Yes.
And the fourth child.
Yes.
What was your initial reaction when Kabiesi, then the Omoba, showed interest in the Olowu stool when it became vacant?
Well, my initial reaction was like, I didn't...
You're showing it.
Well, I didn't expect him to come out and say he wants to be the Olowu because he was a pastor then. And then the thing there was that pastor and Kabiesi, they don't work together. Okay, so I didn't... somebody met me and said, have you heard that the Olowu is dead? And I said, yeah. And he said, so your ruined house is the next.
Okay,
next on the line, and your father is the next one. I said, that's impossible. Definitely not him. That was my reaction. I said he's a pastor, so I don't think he's going to be interested in being, Kabiyesi.
Okay. You may be number 4, but how close are you?
Pretty close, very close.
You're not saying much, because every child is close to her father
well,
in one way or the other.
Yeah, well, very close to him. I was his favorite, but I just, don't want to go to that because I was his favorite as a child. We were very close, very close.
Has your relationship, as we speak, has it diminished in any way? There are things that you can't just do as we speak.
To Kabiyesi.
To Kabiyesi. So?
Well, the relationship definitely has changed.
My father is not an Oba.
Okay.
So I probably can get away with a lot. I'm sure you can't say that. So just think of one thing.
Well, one thing that comes to mind is that you can't call him daddy all the time.
That's what I wanted.
You have to call him Kabiyesi.
That is exactly what I knew you were going to lay your hands on.
Yeah.
So, Kabiyesi.
Kabiyesi.
I think I saw 2 kids with you earlier.
Yes, I have 4 kids.
You have 4?
I have just 2 of them here.
Come on, come, my little friend.
Let me see.
Easy on that, yes. So, you're going to sit on my laps, not on your mommy's lap. And how much time do you spend with Grandpa? That's Kabiyesi. You don't call him Grandpa any longer, do you? You say Kabiyesi.
Tomisi, say Kabiyesi. Say Kabiyesi.
So she obviously looks like you, and I'm sure maybe Kabiyesi's transferred some of this special care to her. Has that happened?
Well, yes. Actually, she and Kabiyesi are quite close because throughout the race, she was with him. She was a baby then. She was barely a year old.
Really?
Okay, so she was very close to him.
A cultural evening at the palace. The courtyard hosts many events like this. Oba Dosunmi is no stranger to art, theatre and drama. This is his other constituency, and he has made a mark in the past. For many years, he produced a popular TV series, The Village Headmaster. He founded a film company and produced the main film of Festa 77.
Babaláwo yìí tó dín fákọ́jọ́ onírọ̀ ọjọ́ ti ràn Olusanya Adegboyega ọmọ Dosunmi ó ti débi tá ìrò pọ́pọ̀ nídé. Iná 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 iná.
Members of the Morakinyo cultural group entertained the Olowu and his newly appointed Owu coronate crowns. The performance centers on the Olowu. The story is the story of the Olowu and the Owu crowns. It is a story that relates how history is being made in Owu Kingdom.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ tí wàá mọ̀ yìí pé èmi fúnra mi ọba fẹ́ẹ̀kì ni mo jẹ́. Ẹ̀fí mìíràn ni mo tọ̀rọ̀ mo sọ àmọ́ Olusanya wọn ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ lómi ìṣe ẹ́.
Drama, yes. However, it is the story of the Olowu and his kingdom. It is the story of a great king and his kingdom. It is the story of a visionary Olowu and his kingdom.
We wish, His Royal Highness, long life, a prosperous, reign, and all the best. May, during his reign, may the Owu Kingdom, continue to rise, and rise.
A dúpẹ́ fún ayẹyẹ ọdún kan tí wọ́n ń ṣe báyìí.
We wish our Kábíyèsí long life and long may he reign. Adé apẹ́ lórí, bàtà apẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀, ẹṣin ọba jòkúpẹ́. Kábíyèsí o.
I pray the Almighty God to grant him wisdom, long life, and prosperity to mediate in the Owu Kingdom affairs and carry us to greater heights. Long may you reign, Kábíyèsí, Kábíyèsí, Kábíyèsí.
Since he became our Kábíyèsí in Abeokuta, the area has witnessed tremendous achievement and development. He has brought a lot of innovation into Obaship, and we of the Owu clan, both at home and in the diaspora, are very, very proud of him, and we wish him long life and prosperity.
Seizing this opportunity to wish our Kábíyèsí, Dr. Dosunmi, long life, best wishes in his first anniversary. We pray to the Almighty Allah to grant him good health, longevity of life.
I wish him many ruling years and many peaceful administration in his tenure. And I wish all the chiefs is given the Chieftaincy title many years and happy ruling as well.
Mo wish láti kí Kábíyèsí Olówu wa Ọba Olusanya Adegboyega Dosunmi pé wọ́n kú ọdún o, so ìgbà ọdún kan ni.